Hair is hair. Whether it's 4A, 4B, 4C, or even 4C, hair is hair. And while I agree to some extent that there are things that 4A people require that 4C people do not require, at the end of the day, hair is hair. And the bottom line is the fundamental principles will not change. Think about it. Look at those ladies like 100 years ago when the term porosity wasn't even a thing and they were able to grow their hair significantly. Look at those African ladies, which I doubt a lot of them focus on hair porosity and these types of terms that are now being invented, and they are growing their hair to like floor length. Hey my loves, welcome back to my channel and welcome if you're new. So in today's video, I'm going to be talking about something that might ruffle a few feathers and it might get a few persons heated and upset. But I think this is something that I really want to talk about, and I'm going to say this right now. This discussion is solely based on my personal experience, and I am just one in a few billion females on this planet, so you can take what I'll be saying today with a grain of salt. So the discussion for today is open, so of course you can go ahead, place your answer in the comment section below. You might not have the same view or stance that I do, so I am happy and I'm always open to hear what you guys think. The question posed today is hair porosity really important when it comes on to hair growth? So let me know what you guys think in the comment section. So without further ado, let's get right into today's discussion. So I have to admit I am not very knowledgeable about hair porosity. So the reason I decided to make this video is because a few persons have commented recently on my videos asking me what my hair porosity was. So I was thinking about it and I was like, through all my hair journey, I've never known what my hair porosity was. However, I got significant growth even though I did not know what it was. So in my point of view for today, I do not think hair porosity is very important when it comes on to hair growth. And as I said earlier, you might not agree with me and that is okay. This is solely based on my personal experience. So since I'm not very knowledgeable about hair porosity, I have to confess that I'll be using Google today to help me along this process. So I cannot tell you straightforward right now what hair porosity means. I honestly do not understand what it means, so I'm going to be using Google to give me a definition for today. So I might be looking down because I'm looking on my laptop, and of course I'm going to pop up the definition on the screen so you can have it to look on as well. Porosity is a measurement of the hair's ability to absorb and hold moisture. It can also be described as an indicator of how easily moisture can penetrate the hair. Hair porosity is largely determined by genetics, but can be altered by external factors such as heat and chemical processing. So in essence, hair porosity is how well your hair can absorb and hold moisture. So there are three different types of porosity. You have low, medium, and high. Low porosity is when your hair is water resistant, making it harder for moisture to be absorbed into your strands. High porosity hair easily absorb moisture, but it's harder for the hair to retain and hold on to that moisture. So it said each hair porosity level has different characteristics and signs. So, and medium porosity, of course, would be a mixture between the high and the low. So I think medium would be a good place to be, because if high porosity, you absorb the moisture easy, but it's hard for you to retain the moisture, then that's not really a good place to be. And if low is where your hair is water resistant, then that is not a good place to be because your hair is not going to be able to absorb the moisture. So I think medium would be a good place to be when it comes onto your hair porosity. So now I'm going to be doing the flow test, and I think a lot of you guys would be aware of what the flow test entails. So it's basically having a jar, which I have right here, with some water. I'm going to be placing 2 strands of my hair in the water to see if it floats, which means my hair will be low porosity. If it's in the middle, that is medium, and if it's at the bottom, that is high porosity. So once I have completed the porosity hair test, I'm going to be diving into a discussion about why I personally feel hair porosity is not that important. Alright, so I have the piece of hair right here, and I'm going to place it in the jar. So I'm not sure, I doubt I'm supposed to touch the hair or anything. I think I'm supposed to leave it. I'm not even sure how long I'm supposed to leave it for, but I'm going to leave it for about 30 seconds, and then I'll come back and show you guys if the hair sank, if it floated, or if it was in mid-range. Okay, so I am back. It has been about 30 seconds and the hair is, I'm not sure if you guys can see the hair, but it is a bit mid-range. So it's not floating, but it's not sunken, I guess. So it would be about mid-range. It's not floating and it did not sink. So it's medium. I have medium hair porosity based on this test. But this is just one test. There are other tests that you can do to know the porosity of your hair. But based on this flow test, whoa, the hair actually sank to the bottom now. I just want to point out that while recording this video, I made a small mistake. Medium porosity, the hair does not stay in the middle. It actually sinks to the bottom, but it sinks slower than high porosity. So based on the test, my hair would indeed be medium porosity and not high porosity, because it took about a minute for my hair to actually reach the bottom of the jar. So I just wanted to point that out. Now I'm going to be giving you guys 3 reasons why I don't think hair porosity is important. Number 1 is because I grew my hair to mid-back length. Number 2 is because I grew my hair in terms of volume. Number 3 is because I grew my hair without being knowledgeable about the porosity of my hair. Now, when it comes on to hair growth, I think we tend to focus a lot on the things that does not matter and will not result in us growing hair. One person might argue that knowing your hair porosity will help you to know what kind of products to buy. It might help you to create a better routine. But to me, hair porosity was never important because I did not know mine and I grew my hair. Hair is hair. Whether it's 4A, 4B, 4C, or even 4Z, hair is hair. And while I agree to some extent that there are things that 4A people require that 4C people do not require, at the end of the day, hair is hair, and the bottom line is the fundamental principles will not change. Protective style, grooming, cleansing, proper nutrition, hydration, moisturization, those things will not change whether you're 3A, 3B, 4C, 4Z. Hair is hair. Now, I'm not going to be naive and say that some hair does not require special treatment depending. You might be having some scalp issues or hair issues and you require some special care. So knowing your porosity in that case might be important. For the general public, I honestly do not think hair porosity is that important. As I've said earlier, I'm just one out of billions of females on this planet, so take what I say lightly. So I have grown my hair from eye length to shoulder length, and I'm currently at mid-back on my way to waist length, and throughout the years I have never known what porosity hair I have. To me, there are certain things that are just not important to know. It is like you're studying for a test and you choose to focus on so many of the things that are not important and neglecting the actual topics that you need to study in order to do well on the test. Hair care is something that is not rocket science. It is not as hard as others make it seem. It is something where you have to have a lot of patience, and you just have to find a routine and products that work for you. When it comes on to hair care, my motto is little is better. Not because you have 10 different hair products means you have a great hair care routine. Smaller amounts of products you use in your hair is better for your hair. So I'm not trying to discourage anybody, I'm not trying to bash anybody or anything like that, but it's time now where we need to shift our focus from the things around hair care that does not matter and focus on the things that are important. Think about it. Look at those ladies like 100 years ago when the term porosity wasn't even a thing and they were able to grow their hair significantly. Look at those African ladies, which I doubt a lot of them focus on hair porosity and these types of terms that are now being invented, and they are growing their hair to like floor length. So I think it is important to just focus on the fundamental of hair care, your grooming, your cleanliness, protective styling, being hydrated, and all those things, and you'll be surprised how much your hair grows, rather than when you're focusing on your porosity and all these other terms that will not contribute to your hair growth. So again, I want to close off this video by saying this is just my personal standpoint. Hair porosity was never a factor for me when it came on to hair growth. I did not know my hair porosity, and even now, based on this test which is telling me that my hair porosity was medium, now it's high, I don't think it is important, because at the end of the day I plan to get my hair to waist length and I'm going to reach that goal regardless of knowing my porosity or not. So I think it's very important to just take a step back, focus on the fundamentals of hair care, because as I've said earlier, hair is hair. Whether you're 3A, 3B, 4C, 4Z, hair is hair. So again, this is just my thought, it's my point. You know, a lot of you guys might not agree with me, and that is okay. This is just my point of view on the matter. And to me, again, as I said, hair porosity was not a factor which contributed to my hair growth. So that's the end of the video. Let me know what you guys think. What stance did you take for the question that was posed today? Is hair porosity important when it comes on to hair growth? Leave your answer in the comments below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye, my loves.